What's up, everybody? My name's Andrew, Brews and Board Games, and I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. You guys might have seen a few days ago there was a new project that launched on Gamefound by Lazy Squire Games called Assent Lavon Rising. There's a lot of hype around this one right now. It's doing very well. At the time of this recording, there's, I think, $617,000 pledged with 2,200 backers, and I think 7 days to go. So there's a lot of hype, a lot of FOMO going around. So I thought it might be a good idea before you bust out your wallets, punch in those credit cards. There might be a few reasons why you might want to hold off, but also some reasons why you might want to go in on this project. And I'm not going to do this for every Kickstarter or Gamefound project going forward, but I do think it is pretty fun to do occasionally, especially for some of those big projects. So without further ado, why don't you grab your brew? We'll start with the reasons why I think you should not back this, starting with number one. All right, here we go. Wild Assent. Yeah. Man, this is looking awesome. Look at all these. Geez, look at that. That is so cool. A lot of stretch goals. I did hear Lavon Rising is the best version, so that's all I want. Man, this stuff does look sweet. Yeah, if Lavon Rising is the best version, I don't want the core game or Silvstream. But I don't see just a pledge for Lavon Rising. Let's go to the FAQ. Okay. Oh, here we go. Is Lavon Rising standalone? Sadly not. Lavon Rising pull characters and creatures from both the core game and Shadow of the Silvstream expansion. No dice or standard tokens. Okay, well, how much is the core and Silvstream? So I need all of them together, huh? How much is the Silvstream? $369. Jesus Christ. That's right, you guys. You heard it. That was some real footage. $369. You cannot get just Lavon Rising, which I have heard adds new mechanics to make the game even better than it was before. You have to get all of the core box, Silvstream, all of the stretch goals, everything combined. And that is going to run you $369. You could just get the core game and stretch goals, as well as the core game, stretch goals, and the Silvstream with all of its stretch goals as well. So there are 3 different pledges. But if you want what apparently is the best version, you will need to get everything. Even if you already have the game, the older version that was just released, just being delivered to everybody, you still need to buy everything, another $369. Again, that is not including shipping either. So that is just the pledge itself. It's a lot of money. Apparently, Lavon Rising uses both minis and other components from both the core game and the Silvstream expansion. So you will need everything if you do want to play Lavon Rising. So just keep that in mind. That is a lot of money for just one game. Now, I also mentioned that doesn't include shipping, which leads me into reason number 2. I gotta find out how much shipping is for that. I hope it's not too much. Yeah, hey. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, is the shipping captain there? Yeah.
Ah, on the open sea again. Hey, get away from those minis, you bastards. Damned birds. Huh? Phone call. Thank you, dear. Yes, hello, this is the shipping captain.
Yeah, how you doing? I have a question. If I was going to be ordering a board game, I'm trying to get an idea of how much that is going to cost me. There's going to be quite a bit of stuff.
Board games, eh? How many boxes?
7 boxes?
7 boxes. Good Lord, lad. 1 wave or 2?
2 wave?
2 wave. Minis or no minis?
Yeah, all minis. Hundreds.
Minis, Jesus. Well, that's gonna run you about $115.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Now I gotta go, lad. I'm delivering some packages of hell.
Wait, Hell the Last Saga?
Yeah, that's right. You heard of it?
That still hasn't arrived?
Yeah, there's some revised prototype copies for reviews.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Lad, you there? Oh, out to sea again.
Now that's right. You heard it straight from the captain himself. The shipping prices are high. I have a printout here from the campaign page itself going over the shipping. So this is for the USA, EU, UK, Australia, New Zealand, China, and Hong Kong. For Wave 1 shipping, $27 to $37 for the core game. Shadow of the Sylvstrom, $37 to $47. Now they have Lavon Rising here with an asterisk next to it. It says 37 to 47 for Lavon Rising as well. Now, however, that says Lavon Rising will ship in 2 waves. We do not have an estimated shipping cost for Wave 2 yet, due to the volatile prices mentioned above. So they have a little blur right under this chart here. And it basically says these shipping prices are based on estimates on weight and size of the game boxes without stretch goals. In addition, shipping costs may rise as they have in the past year, beyond what we are able to compensate for. So please keep that in mind when backing this or any crowdfunding project. So these are estimates, and this for Lavon Rising is a placeholder. The other regions, Canada, Norway, and Switzerland, don't even get me started on that. So it says the rest of the world, we are still working with our shipping partner to determine shipping for the countries not covered above. Wild Ascent is a heavy game, which can incur a dramatic increase in cost, especially for the larger pledges. And we don't want to promise prices we can't deliver literally on. So from what I'm gathering from this, these are obviously just placeholders, and they could go up depending on how the situation is with all shipping and stuff like that. You guys have been aware of the updates and everything going on, just the chaos that is ensuing, trying to get containers and stuff like that. The prices are going up. So they might also come back if they can't beyond what we are able to compensate for. They might come back and have the people maybe pitch in a little bit more for shipping. I don't know. I don't want to say that. It's just how I read this. Shipping costs may arise beyond what we are able to compensate for. So just reading that and then just seeing these placeholders, I mean, Lavon Rising with 2-wave shipping, 37 to 47, I kind of think that's a low ball. I would probably imagine around $60, probably something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I could be completely wrong. Either way, the shipping costs are high. It is a heavy game. There's a lot of minis. There's 7 boxes of minis in there. And they also said that's not including stretch goals. So these are just placeholders, essentially. These could go up, and they could go up later on in the pledge manager. So that is a lot of money tacked on, especially if you are getting the full Lavon Rising pledge of $369. That's a lot more money to tack on. So you're not just paying $369, you're paying for a lot of shipping as well. And plus, I'm not entirely sure, like, I would imagine for these, like it says the core game, Shadow of the Silverstream, I'm imagining those are for the pledges themselves, right? Not you're going to have to pay 27 to 37 for the core game, and then Shadow of the Silverstream 37 to 47, and then an additional 37 to 47 possibly for Lavon Rising. I don't know. I don't think you're adding those all together. If you are, that's even crazier. So just keep in mind, high shipping cost. Ooh, yeah, Wild Assent, it came, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, look at this. Oh, boy. Dude. Oh, yeah, I'm so excited. Let's get this open. Oh, I've been waiting a long time for this. Oh, yeah, look at this. Wild Assent. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there it is. Look at the artwork on this. Oh yeah, what is this? Okay, Wild Assent. There's Lavon Rising. Oh yeah, man. Look at all this stuff. Ooh, boy. Oh my goodness. Let's get this box out of here. Oh man, I'm so excited. Ooh. More stuff. Look at all these. Jeez, Wild Assent stretch goals. Wild Assent Silverstream. Man, come on, man. What's this? Says Silverstream. Who knows what it is? Oh. Wild Assent Lavon Rising stretch goals. Oh my goodness. Oh, these boxes are totally legit. Look at this artwork. Wild Assent, look at this. My goodness. Oh my God, this is so cool. Look at all these boxes. 7 boxes. Oh, this is awesome, man. Ooh. Oh, Wild Assent Silverstream Lavon Rising stretch goals. Man, that's a lot, man. This was awesome. There's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 7 boxes. Oh boy. That's a lot of stuff. 7 boxes. Now, from what the pictures look like, those boxes don't seem to be those tiny, semi-smaller expansion boxes that some games have. They seem to be full-blown, legit-sized boxes. That's why I use these, this example of some of these boxes for reference. That's a lot, man, especially if you're not getting the... or even if you're not getting, like, I think there's some art books, and I think there's even another mini that you can get separately as well. I think it maybe if you didn't follow or do the early bird or something like that. That's a lot of stuff. And that's one thing I didn't mention in the shipping as well. If you get some of those art books, that's going to add to the shipping as well. But dude, that's just a ton of space. Me personally, I don't have all the space in the world. I have what you see here, which is 2 4x4. These are Better Home and Garden shelves. And then I have another 2x4 over here. I have some games up on the shelves as well on top, but I don't have all the space. I'm sure I could squeak out another shelf with my wife if I really wanted to. But I'm trying to limit the amount of space that I'm taking up at the same time. That's just a ton of boxes for shelf space, as well as, let's say you want to get out a game. I don't want to get out 20 boxes or 7 boxes just to play a particular game. What I've started doing more recently is combining this stuff. I've even been taking some of the minis outside of those trays and just putting them in maybe some plastic baggies, you know, not just lumping them in there, putting them in there with some care, but in order to reduce space. And that's what I've done with a lot of games so far. Some I haven't, but others I have. So when I see 7 boxes, that's just going to take up a crap ton of shelf space. And especially if you're constantly getting other games throughout the time until this comes. Because remember, this is probably going to come, I know it said, what, April for Wave 1, for that's the core and the Silverstream. I wrote Silverstream. I thought it was Silverstream for the longest time. But I think it's April 2022, probably going to get pushed back, right? So probably have until later in 2022, and then probably in 2023 for actual Lavon Rising. So you're going to be constantly getting more games in the meantime, and then just for 7 boxes to drop on you out of the blue, that's just going to take up a ton of space. And also, like I said, that's just going to be a ton of content. Sometimes it's overwhelmingly like it's an overwhelming amount of stuff. Sometimes you don't even want to get out games because it's going to just take that long to go through the boxes and to set up. So it is just a ton of stuff. So reason number 4 is going to be uncertainty. Now, I know some of these games have already been delivering. Some content creators have already been putting out reviews. There's also some reviews on Board Game Geek as well. But to me, honestly, there's not that many. The game still is being released, and I'm talking about Wild Assent, the first edition, if you will, which is going to be the core game, and then I think Silverstream as well. I'm not entirely sure, but to me personally, there's not enough to look at. I've been seeing some reviews saying that the game is fantastic. I know Board Game Co gave it a 5 out of 5. And then some other channels that I've seen as well, they rated the game very highly. But also I have seen some other reviews on Board Game Geek where they were just saying, it's okay. And I don't know if it was reviews or just people just coming out and saying, hey, I just thought the game was okay. Nothing mind-blowing. And that's what I mean. I don't think there's enough out there to truly say how the game is. Now, that's given only reviews from content creators. You can certainly go on and check playthroughs yourself, read the manual and stuff like that. So do your own research. But I'm just trying to say, I wish the game had been out for a little bit longer before this campaign launched, so I could look at more reviews, get maybe see what other people are saying that don't think it's that great, and kind of balance that out and make my own opinion. Have more time to make an opinion on all of those reviews, so then I can make a decision on the campaign itself. But as it stands right now, I think it's, like I said, a lot of people are still getting their game. I just don't know if there's enough reviews out there to justify just going in. It's kind of still semi-blind. But you could also say that's what most crowdfunding projects are. You don't know. At least now we have even a little bit more information than we would for some other projects. But still, it is a lot of money, especially if you want the Lavon Rising. So I just kind of wish there were a little bit more information about the games before the campaign launched. So with all those reasons why I think you might want to hold off out of the way, what are the reasons why I think you should hop in? The first one is going to be multiple game modes. This game, Wild Assent, it has a few different game modes that you can play. It has the hunt, which is kind of like a survival campaign. You're going to go through 10 sessions and you can level up and do stuff like that. You're going to be able to hunt monsters, either kill them or capture them to sell them, gaining profit and stuff like that. You're going to have to go back to an encampment, which is kind of going to be like a worker placement game. And then you're going to do that over the course of 10 kind of sessions, I think it is. There is a story campaign, but I think that is kind of linear. So there's a set path that you're going to have to go to. They provide you with all that information. I think they might even tell you, give you certain characters to use through that. Also, there's going to be a skirmish mode. It's called the arena, where essentially you're going to be able to use what are called ascents, and you're going to be able to use those ascents, which are controlling other kind of minions and people that are going to battle the other ascents that have their own guys on the board as well. And you're going to have to either kill all of those creatures on the opposing side or kill the ascent that is controlling those creatures. So you kind of have a skirmish game. It's called the hunt, which is kind of like the survival campaign, where you're going to be able to capture monsters and do that sort of stuff with the encampment. And then you're also going to have the campaign, the story campaign as well. So those three different things. Now, Lavon Rising is also going to add a different sort of campaign, it says. And in that campaign, you're going to be able to choose different things, and they're going to have a drastic effect on your adventure, if you will. So you're going to be able to choose different options. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but I would believe, depending on the choice, would be a drastic different, you could take a different path. And there are going to be multiple paths throughout this campaign. And from what I read, this sort of campaign isn't supposed to take forever. They said they've already done those story campaigns. So this campaign is strictly more of like, hey, choose some paths, boom, that's it, you're done. Now you can go back and replay another one, choosing different paths to take. So it's going to be a cool little thing where you can choose a different adventure each time, but it's not going to be this long, sprawling adventure that it's going to take you months and months to play through. So I think that's pretty cool, offering multiple game modes, which can help justify the price, right? If you are going to be paying that $369 before shipping, shipping is going to be a lot, you are going to have essentially kind of 3 or more different games. So I think that's a really positive thing, right? You can almost break down that $369 and divide it if you want to. How cool would it be for other games to do this sort of thing? Like Planet Apocalypse, right? You have this, it's like a tower defense game. But how cool would it be to use those minis in like a skirmish game now? Something like that, right? So I think it's such a cool idea to use the same kind of stuff that you already have for the game and just change up the mode to play multiple different things. I think that's, and kind of drastically different modes as well. So I think that's a really cool idea that can help justify the price. You're not just buying one game, you're kind of buying 3 or plus different game modes. And I think that's a really good feature that can help to make you feel a little bit better about paying that much money. And another reason why you might want to hop in now is that this game might not go to retail. Now, there was a FAQ section for this, and they said there was a higher chance than there was on the last print run. That still doesn't mean that it is going to go to retail. So if this is a game that you are on the fence about, but you don't want to go in for that $369, maybe just go in for the core. You don't know. Maybe all of this stuff will not make it to retail, and then you'll have to find it on the secondhand market, paying a buku amount of money just to get some of this stuff. You might be paying $200 just for the core game without the stretch goals. That's kind of how it works on eBay. So just keep that in mind. It might not go to retail. So if you've been banking on this game, right? You've been saving. This is the campaign that you want to go in. This is the game that's really been catching your eye, but you're still kind of put off about the price. I hear you, but just keep in mind, it might not go to retail. Don't just jump in because you're afraid it won't if you're on the fence. But if you are truly considering this game, just keep in mind that we don't know for sure. Now, with all that being said, what do I actually think? I know I gave more reasons of why not to back than to back, but that's okay. That doesn't necessarily mean, 4-2, that means you shouldn't back the game, or I think you shouldn't back the game. Not at all. I think everything that I brought up are legitimate concerns. A lot of stuff. Expensive, a huge shipping price, kind of still semi-unproven for that price. I think they're legitimate concerns that can kind of apply to most Kickstarter or probably crowdfunding, Gamefound projects nowadays. The games are staying super expensive. adding all of these stretch goals, and then with the shipping prices going up, you know, companies are going to be charging more for the game itself and probably more for shipping. So these are serious things to consider. That still doesn't mean that it should stop you from really looking at a game, or, you know, going in, especially if you really think that game is going to be right up your alley. So for me, for this, I am really digging all of this artwork. I love the creativity of all of these monsters. You know, you're going out into the wild, you know, you're hunting for these monsters. I love the hunting campaign, survival campaign type of deal. I think that sounds really cool, trying to capture monsters or kill them, and they do different things whether you capture them or kill them, and you go back to the encampment and you can level up and stuff like that. The story campaign is cool. Having a skirmish mode out of that. I'm really digging the multiple game modes. I think they did a really good job instead of just making this one game mode and all of these components. Now you can kind of feel a little bit better if you go all in and have all this stuff of, hey, I can play the game multiple ways now. I don't want to play that way right now. Let's play the skirmish mode, or vice versa. I think that's a really cool thing, especially because the components look so good. Those minis look fantastic, and you get a crap ton of them. The artwork is gorgeous. The cards look fantastic. The boards, I'm really digging the boards, like I said. I do think it is expensive. I wish they would have kind of did a standalone for Lavon Rising. I think that would have been a little bit better. I think a lot of people would have went in with that, with some revised mechanics and a little bit better way to play the game, you know, with that campaign where each decision can have a drastic impact, as well as a shorter campaign. I think people really would have liked that. I wish that would have been the case here. But $369 is a lot of money, especially if you have that unknown shipping cost on top of it. But I do think the game looks fantastic. We are getting some reviews in. People are saying that the game is pretty good. But also, like I mentioned, some people are saying, it's okay, it didn't blow my mind. So am I going to spend $369 on the pledge itself and then possibly $60 more for the shipping to have an okay game to then sell later? And then Lazy Squire comes back and says, oh, we got Wild Ascent 3.0 now, right? So you can pledge for that. Now I can't sell the game as much because everybody's just pledging for the new one. I know it's a made up scenario, but I think it's happening now with some people trying to get rid of their Wild Ascent stuff now, because then they have to go and spend $360 to get the core game and Silvstream again, when they already have that stuff. They can't get the Lavon Rising separate. So there are some concerns. And the space is a real factor as well. That is just a ton of stuff. But the game still looks really cool. I am still really interested in it. I think what I'm going to do, at least for right now, is just go in for the core game. That way I get the core game, some stretch goals. There's still a ton of minis in there, a ton of cards. And maybe down the road, I know they said it might go to retail. They said it's a more higher likely chance, but that's not 100%. I know they're saying that, and I might not be able to get the stretch goals down the road. But if I don't, let's say I miss out on 3 boxes and I end up getting 4. I mean, there's so many other games that you can still play. And then I do think eventually, if the hype and the popularity is still there, I mean, they might come back onto another crowdfunding page or a campaign. So I think that's always a likely chance that they come back, do another crowdfunding project. Obviously, I can't bank on that, but that's kind of a risk that I'm willing to take. And so I'm still going to get a ton of content, be able to experience the game, not Lavon Rising. But if I do think that the core game is good enough, maybe and hopefully down the road, I'll be able to get Lavon Rising. So that is going to be it for me. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed the skits. That was pretty fun to do. And that's basically going to be it. Like I said, I'm not going to do this for every campaign that launches. I'll do it for a few of them. I did think it was pretty fun to do. So who knows, here and there, one might pop up. That's why you got to subscribe and like to let me know what you guys want to see, as well as to stay tuned for anything else that I put out, right? Shameless plug. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you took something away from this. Please let me know in the comments below, what are you thinking? Is it too much money for you? Do you not want this much stuff? Are the shipping prices just too much for you? And who knows what they're going to be down the road? Do you not care and you still want this game, whatever the cost? Let me know. And if I missed anything, just give me your thoughts, whether I missed some or you want to add something to the conversation. I would love to hear it, and I respond to everybody. So again, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Until I see you guys next time, grab some brews, play some games, have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. All right, take care.